Am I on? Oh, okay. You've got me. I'm still not on my screen for some strange reason, but here we go. Wow, can't believe it. Look at me. I've frozen on the screen there. Amazing. I've no idea what's going on there. Anyway, welcome to the show. Today I thought I would talk a little bit about relationships, the importance of relationships. Are relationships actually spiritual? So I can see by my monitor and by my iPad there that there is definitely a delay. So it's very weird seeing myself and then looking up there and seeing the delay of it all. So we've got the same team coming on here. So hi to everybody. Hi Sally, nice to see you on here. Hi Hypnicity. There you are. No sound. Oh, we got no sound? Let's just double check the sound. It says I've got sound. So we seem to be okay on that one. Can everybody hear me? Let's turn that up a little bit. Yep, I seem to have sound. Audio's good. Okay, so Hypnicity, you got problems with your sound. So everyone else is saying that it's okay. So anyway, back to what I was saying. The importance of relationships. When I was back on the TV, there was it was all about relationships. You know, people wanted to know when was love coming into their lives, when will he leave his wife. You know, that seemed to be the big question. You know, so many people having affairs out there that they wanted to know whether or not he was going to leave his wife, or the other way, the wife leave the husband. It never really does. It never really happens. It's all too much. But one of the things I realised with relationships, there's only so many questions that you can basically ask on a TV show about what's coming up around relationships. So technically everybody was looking for love. They wanted love in their life. What is love all about? Well, it's security, isn't it? When you're in love, you feel secure. So when you feel secure, it's a kind of a loving space to be in. When you're not in love, we all feel a little bit insecure. So it's about feeling secure, feeling safe, and feeling loved, because we all want love and we all want to feel safe. Hopefully, that's what we supposed to have gotten from our parents, but did we? Probably not. Everyone feels very unsafe in a world that is very unsafe. So what did you discover in your relationships? What did you find out about the repetitive patterns that was happening in your relationships? Did you find that they was going the same way? Did you feel like that you was picking up on the same guy or the same girl? Did you feel that there was a familiarity, just about got that word out, something similar, that was going through all the relationships? But most importantly, how was you in the relationships? We have this saying, don't we, where men say all used women are the same. And I'm sure all women say all used men are the same. So we hear that a lot, but are women all the same? And are all men the same? One of the things that I realised in relationships was we blame others for how the relationship is turning out. I'm either going to get the blame or I'm going to blame them. That seems to be the result, doesn't it, of a relationship that seems to be going wrong. But on a spiritual journey, on a beamy journey, and understanding the power and the gift of being me, was it me that is affecting all of my relationships? And so therefore I looked at it and said to myself, well, maybe it's me then. It must be me, because I'm the common denominator. And so therefore, if the relationships keep going the same way, then surely it's me that needs to change something, right? So that's what I thought. That was a big part to do with healing, understanding body, mind and energy, understanding the emotions, because in my emotional self, in the state that I could get into because of a relationship was failing or it was becoming more argumentative, I looked at myself and said, okay, maybe it's me. I'm the common denominator. Maybe I'll change something about me, and then maybe the next relationship won't be like the others, because there was a massive pattern that was kind of going on. I found it very difficult to understand, trying to understand women, and I suppose women are trying to understand men. Well, here's the problem. Women don't understand themselves, and men doesn't understand themselves. Women don't really know what they want, and man doesn't really know what he wants. So again, we have a massive problem here. So I would like to say probably one of the biggest wars that's going on the planet, and always has been, and probably forevermore will be happening, is the war between relationships. Doesn't matter if it's man and man, girl and girl, boy and man. It doesn't seem to matter who's who and what's what. We seem like we've trying to be in control, and we're trying to control what is love. And what is the main source of an argument in a failing relationship? Well, it's energy, isn't it? The energy of love is starting to disappear. And so therefore, we hear many people turn around and say, well, why can't we go back to how we used to be? And so you may try it, but how many of you sort of failed and sort of thought, well, it's impossible. We may be able to go back for a little bit, and people change their emotional side of themselves or their angry side of themselves. But a lot of it is to do with attitude. So there always seems to be a clash between attitudes and emotions. So what and why does this happen, and what is going on? I saw a massive pattern that was going on, and it was very similar to my upbringing. So therefore, if you come from a very argumentative family, probably 9 times out of 10, you're going to carry that argumentative self into your relationships. And so therefore, if you had, say, 15 to 20 years of an argumentative family growing up, and then you get married, and then you find that you're having an argumentative marriage, you could look at that and say, my God, this has been going on for 30, 40 years. When is it ever going to stop? Is this the way life is? Is this the way relationships are? So the art of relationship for me became me, being me. I needed to stop these emotions. I needed to stop this control. I needed to be able to accept love. I needed to be able to give love. But what was love? What we can give, people want more. And sometimes what you can give, people take the piss out of you. So sometimes there seems like there's a no-win action that's going on. Nobody's giving in. Nobody's winning. And what has brought this topic on for me is, I don't know how many of you out there have watched Dubai Bling. You know, some of the wealthiest men and women probably on the planet. And I don't really watch things like that, but I thought I'd click into it because I kind of like the idea of Dubai. It seems like it's an incredible place. So I thought, well, this would be interesting. Maybe there's something nice that's going on. So we've got these very attractive looking women. We've got these very attractive looking men. And you've got the Ferraris, they've got the Rolls Royce, they've got the Bentleys and the houses and the bling and the dresses, and it's, oh my God, it's top notch, right? The makeup is superb, their hair is superb, the styling is incredible. And I was watching them, and my God, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't watch it for too long because it's like somebody let the cat out of the bag. And I've never seen such nasty people, nasty women, especially amongst themselves and their friends. And it was seemingly like, no matter if they went to a birthday party, or they went to a New Year's Eve party, or it was just a business party, whatever it was doing, somebody wanted to pick a fight. There was even a catwalk. They was doing a fashion catwalk. Well, these two girls got together. I'll tell you what, they just wanted to kill each other. But so nasty. And all I kept hearing was, will you hurt my feelings? That's what it was all about. Yeah, well, you hurt my feelings, so I'm going to hurt your feelings, and I'm going to get you to feel like how you made me feel. And I thought, do you know what? Somewhere along the line, I kind of didn't expect that from a calibre of woman, or that calibre of man that's doing well, got all the security of money, got the great looks, you know, what can go wrong? And there was even one part in it where one of the husbands, he was putting on a bit of weight, right? So she kept moaning about him wanting to, he's putting on weight, so do something about it. So he said, all right, I'll start going training. So his mates invited him in, come on, let's go training, let's do some weights, let's try and get some of this weight down. And so they said, oh, we've got a personal trainer. So they bring in this personal trainer. Well, she's a blonde, right? She's a good-looking blonde, and all the bits are in the right place and all the right shape and everything else. So he does his training, not a lot's kind of going on. He's doing a few squats and he's just getting on trying to do some training. And you can see he didn't really want to do it. You can see he really didn't even want to be there. So he goes home, and then somebody mentions that, oh yeah, we got this woman, this girl, she's coming and she's going to be our personal trainer. With the look on this woman's face, she could have drawn blood just by looking at him. She looked at the video of this blonde showing him how to do squats and that. She went absolute apeshit. She was like almost ending the marriage. And she said, I don't mind you looking at her once, but you looked at her twice. And she went right into one. And she said, I've told you that if you ever look at another woman, that's it, it's over. And you look twice at this woman. And you got to look at it and you think, how do you not look at somebody if somebody's training you? Is it impossible not to sort of, you know, in general chat, in whatever, looking at somebody? But she went mental, even to the point he knew she was going to go mad. And he walked in to the house with an amazing bouquet of roses. Probably cost $500 just to get these roses, right? And then she goes into one, and then he pulls out of this bag all of these documents. And all these documents are about whether or not he dies. And if he dies, where's his money going to go to? Who's going to get what, when and how? So he basically gave her the will. Well, she wasn't even interested in that. But the interesting thing is, somehow he knew she was going to go mad, and he'd gone through, bought the roses, signed all the papers to sign everything over to her in the case of his death, hoping it was going to soften the blow. So she looks at the papers. God forbid how much money was probably going to be involved and how much she's going to gain when he dies. And she just looked at it and just ripped it up in front of him and just kind of threw it at him. And I thought, my God, I've never seen anything so disgusting as that. We've got here, the only way is Essex. And that's bad enough. And I know what Essex people are like. But compared to these people in Dubai, oh my God, I've never seen anything so bad in all my life. They all need therapy as far as I can see it. Absolutely disgusting. Check it out. You'll be blown away. But it was absolutely terrible. Right, let's just say hi to everybody because I've been talking away here. So we have greetings from Lingwood, Washington. We have Sally Belair. We have Double E. We have, who else? We have Persian Princess, Ellie Wim, Epiphany, haven't had a relationship since 2002. Okay, is that good for you? Not good for you? Do you like it? Do you prefer it? Ellie Wynn, yep, patterns attracted cold men that will fake warm. Loving. Yes. We're all very good, aren't we, at pretending? We all love the pretend, and we say, oh, you're so funny, you're so this, you're so that, and all of these things. But how long can you keep it up for? That's the problem. Is it a month? Is it a year? Is it 2 years? But sooner or later, that darkness, that emotional programming, at some point is going to come out and start showing itself. And I know that I had that even within my own problem. Right, so, right, we have Dino. Hi, Dino. Greeting beamies. Yes, all greeting beamies. Holly Ann. Hi, Holly. Trevor. Perfect on a Sunday. Oh, right, okay, yeah, of course it is. So that's good. Oh, sorry, I'm sniffing now. I've still got that cold a little bit. Rustka. Right, Rustka. Hello to everyone. Thank you, Trevor, for live. Please like the video that more people can see it. Yeah, that would be nice. I don't go with that, you know, like this, subscribe to that. I always think if you want to like it, like it. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you don't, then don't. But apparently it makes a huge, huge difference that goes on there. So let's see, we've got Ernest. Ernest, welcome to the show. I think that's the first time I've seen you on here. Are relationships spiritual, or do women seek control ultimately? Well, that's a big old question there, isn't it? Who really wants to seek control? And is a relationship really based upon control? And if it is about control, then what are you controlling? Is it your own insecurities? Or is it their own securities? Is it their fears? Or is it your own fears? But are relationships spiritual? And I'm going to say 100% yes. So it's nothing to do with control at all. The only thing you've got is whether or not you can control your own self, your own mind, and your own emotional. So we'll get on to that a little bit, Ernest. Are relationships spiritual? Because I discovered 100% it is the way, it is the pathway to your own spirituality or your own beamiality. Because once you go through X amount of relationships, you start to see that pattern, you start to see what's wrong, you start to see the injuries, because each relationship will give you injuries. So when it comes down to control, you're controlling, and everyone is controlling, the injuries that's within them. And this is what they call love. Love is when, if you don't hit that red button, then I shall love you. But if you hit that red button, or you press that red button, then you're going to see all of the programming. You're going to see all the injury. You're going to see all the hurt. And that's why people can turn nasty. They can be loving, so loving. And then all of a sudden you see the beast. The beast comes out, and a person will look at you and go, oh my God, where did that all come from? But and here's the other problem. They believe that it only went wrong because of you and a somebody in that relationship. But I guarantee you this, that's not because of you and that relationship. Go back a relationship, it's the same. Go back a relationship, it's the same. Go back the relationship, it's the same. But what people tend to do is that they tend to blame the relationship that they are in now, and you've done this to me, when really it's been going on throughout all of the relationships. So when you get to the last relationship that's kind of going wrong, that is an accumulation of all the relationships. Because don't forget, every time you've loved and been hurt, you start to protect yourself. And then once you start protecting yourself, you can't love properly because you're still waiting for something. That was an orb. I think I saw that one then. You start protecting yourself because you don't want to be hurt. And then you protect yourself because you don't want to hurt somebody. So that's what that's all about. So, but we're getting to the our relationship spiritual in a minute. Chloe, hi Chloe, not hi Trevor. Oliane, the beautiful people are always on top till your youth fades. Well, not by Dubai Bling, because trust me, they were very beautiful, but so ugly. So ugly. I met, being in the modelling world, I worked with so many beautiful women, but their inner world wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. So, we sort of think beauty works with being a beautiful person. It doesn't work. I've never seen it anyway. Katheka, the White, good evening everyone. Dino, greetings. Trev, the Virgin. Hi Trev, just got home from work. Okay, give yourself a cup of tea, put your feet up, and let's have a show for an hour or so. Odessa, Ernest, the Virgin. Okay, as long as I say hello to everybody. Ernest, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Ernest. You saved my life. Ernest, spiritual awakening. Chloe, Danjit, you got me beat. No relationship since 2012. It's been good say Ellie Wynn. We have an expression for the type of behaviour, the pathological, envious spouse in your example, Trevor. You can dress them up, but you cannot take them out. You can dress them... Right. Okay. I understand what you're saying there. Yes. We get to see people's true colours, don't we? Listen, I put my hand up. I've been a bit of a bastard when something has rattled my cage at certain points in it all. And that used to bring a certain energy of me out of the cupboard, let's say. And, oh God, I didn't like it. Relationships for me were fantastic. I believed I was fantastic in relationships. It was all kind of great. And something would kind of go wrong. And it was like, oh, here we go. So when the relationship is good, the body feels good. The mind is good. Illness is good. You don't get headaches. You see the world in a completely different way. So it's beautiful. It's really lovely. So for me, at that particular time, it seemed like love is an absence of fear, right? So where does fear come from? Well, fear has all come from your experiences. It's all in there like a filing cabinet, just waiting to come out. And when you become, I think at some point, this is why I become more psychic and I became more aware, because I was fed up with what people say, but it's not what they mean. And so therefore, I wanted a relationship where I could sustain a level of existence or a level of love or a level of fun, a level of excitement, a level of not sensing fear. But did you ever get that moment when in the situation you just went, something's not right? It's definitely something's not right here. Something feels wrong. He may have said, I'm still at work, or I've been late at work, or I'm just going to go out and have a drink, or just whatever it is. And you think, something's not right there. Your body feels it, doesn't it? So your body is an amazing, as I say to you, your body is a barometer. It's telling you before you get to find out. Your body will always let you know, and then you'll find out about the experience a little bit later. It's like if somebody's having an affair, you sort of think, I think they're having an affair. And then you start telling people, I think they're having an affair. And they go, oh, don't be stupid. They're not having an affair. No, I think he's having an affair. No, you must be going mad. You're going mad. Of course he's not having an affair. And then it gets to the point where you can't help but say something. You go, are you seeing someone? Are you having an affair? And they go, no, what are you talking about? What's the matter with you? You're going loopy. You're going mental. What's the matter with you? But it won't get rid of the feeling. There's still the feeling in there. You still know something's wrong because your body's telling you, right? Because we've been trying to learn to understand the body, right? We've been starting to understand our feelings, right? And so therefore, you can keep on, and you still don't know. And then maybe a year later, you find out and you've got concrete evidence that somebody's having an affair. And you think, my God, my body was telling me, I thought I was going mental, maybe because of certain past things in the past that's kind of kept me a little bit aware. And then you find out they're having an affair, and then that's it, all the pain. The pain is unreal, isn't it? And it's an awful thing. So I don't know how many of you it's happened to you. But when you lose that trust in somebody that you have trusted, that's your safety. That was your love because you kind of trusted somebody. And then you find that out. Oh my God, that hurts so hard. And then the body says to you, well, I did warn you. I did tell you. And you feel stupid. You feel let down. You feel mugged off. And you want to kill. I did anyway. But that's how it was making me feel. And it was like, my God, I've had enough of this. And then trust. Another important key word, isn't it? Trust goes right out of the window. And then how many of you, after somebody having an affair, tried to go, yeah, but I still love you. It's all right. We can get on and we'll get through it and all of that shit. Yeah, really? Did you really? No. I'll tell you what you done. You spent all your time interrogating them, never trusting them, watching them like a hawk. You never got the energy back. You never got the love back. It's all gone. And some people really do stick in that energy for a long, long time. And it's a really, really weird one. But to me, I think once that trust is gone, that's it. This has got to end. You got to go because I'm already broken. I don't want to be broken anymore because this is all too much. So there is a real big reason behind it all. Deep breaths. Learn to breathe. I don't know where we're going with that one. Embrace your shadows. Okay, let's go back up here. Right, who's talking to who here? Demons are real. They are. Alive and dead, by the way. Right, let's go back up here. Expression. No, take them out. Right, okay. If you can't be with the ones you love, love the one you're with. Most importantly, though, it's about loving who you are. What is love? Tell me. What is love? Is it about love, or is love the wrong word? Does love still have conditions, which means I love you, but don't have me over? That's a total different thing. Right, demons are real. Kathaka, they are inside us. Yes, they are. We need to deal with that. Yes, you do. Shadow work. That's a lot of work, that is. Understanding what your shadow work is. Let's cut to the chase on that. Let's just call it human. It's human work. Forget the word shadow. It's human all the way. Right, questions. Any questions? Depression is a gift. I found it to be a gift. I thought it was an amazing gift. I didn't know it at the time, but it has become an amazing, amazing gift. Hypnicity. I'm very lucky. My husband has seen me through 34 years, which included serious health issues. We're not perfect, but he's my best friend. It's nice you can say that. That's really lovely. So well done you on that. Happiness is an inside job. It is. Hope you found that. It's a tough one. Even the word happiness, I kind of sway with that a little bit. Is that the right word? You know, contentment. Is it about contentment? Is it about safety? Does that bring happiness? Is happiness all about laughter, joy, fun, and all of this? Is that what we call happiness? So happiness, you know, people say, you know, we come here to be happy. Well, maybe we didn't come here to be happy. Maybe we just come here to make a difference, whether that creates happiness or it doesn't create happiness, but you're here to sort of discover what is your potential of what you believe you can do in the world, rather than just sitting back and just letting your life waste away. That's what I felt it was all about. It was like, oh my God, you know, once you awaken, you look at the state of the world and somehow your soul sort of says, okay, well, let's do something about it. Let's try and help. And I didn't know that was what I was going to do. But I look at it on my deathbed and I sort of say, do you know what? I tried to help. And I think whether that made me happy or not, I think it was a task of the soul that said we had to go. And so on my deathbed, maybe I could just turn around and say, do you know what? I'm happy in the way that I tried to help people or to make the world a better place. Am I happy with that? And I will probably say, yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. But it's not the kind of happiness that made me have fun in all of it. Like hairdressing gave me a lot of fun, because hairdressing is a lot of fun, but it didn't give me that. But I have a sense of contentment and joy and meaning and purpose through helping. Ernest, Trevor Isley has brought me out of that spiritual journey of depression since 2017. Fantastic. Well done you. Well done us. I like it because I've listened to people talking about the dark night of the soul. I've listened to people talk about depression. Now, they can talk about it up to a certain point and it stops. We can all take that advice. You know, people say about the dark night of the soul. I've listened to them all, from Eckhart Tolle to whoever, whatever and whoever. But they only can go to a certain point of it. Whereas I went beyond that and then created a whole new thing. Whereas they just talk about it, but there's nothing beyond it. So that's what the difference I love about what I discovered about what was depression. Could I rewrite depression? Did depression mean something else? Was I happy to accept that I was depressed? Because if I allowed somebody to say to me, oh, okay, we've got a solution, you're depressed. Oh, right, great, okay, so that's it then, I'm depressed. Yeah, you're depressed. Oh, and what do I do about that then? You know, so there didn't seem to be too much beyond that word of depression. But for me, I wanted to look into it and go, no. Everyone's going to receive the same answer. You're depressed, this is the answer. You're going through the dark night, this is the answer. You know, depression leads into the dark night. The dark night of the soul is still not as popular as depression. And I actually had somebody come through that she actually went to the doctors, right? It's a true story. Actually went to the doctors and she said, like, you know, I'm really depressed. And the doctor turned around and said to her, do you think you're going through the dark night of the soul? She said, I don't know. She said, I don't know nothing about that. And it was actually the doctor that gave her the name of my channel. And through him giving her the name of my channel, she learnt so much more about what depression really meant or could mean. And then she learnt about the awareness of the dark night of the soul. There's not many people out there talking about the dark night of the soul. If they are, they haven't really gone through the dark night of the soul, and maybe they didn't even get out of the dark night of the soul, because the true meaning behind the dark night of the soul is that whoever you thought you were, it's not going to be who you're going to become. It's a 100% turnaround, and it is a complete transformation. Everything about your mind is going to change. Everything about your emotions is going to change. Everything about your outlook's going to change. Everything about your relationships is going to change. Everything about your eyesight is going to change. All of your thoughts are going to change. It is literally turning into a completely different being. But if, you know, I say to people, you know, my dark night of the soul, let's say, was 28 years ago. So for me, in my true self, I'm only 28 years old. And in a funny way, I feel like I'm 28. But I'm right, how do I put it? I feel like I'm 28, and I feel like I've got a lot of knowledge. I've got a lot of wealth in divinity, a lot of wealth in wisdom. That's the word I was looking for. A lot of wealth in wisdom. Wisdom comes when you understand the knowledge and the experience. Experience is your knowledge. If you look at your knowledge and your experience in an emotional value, you're still connected to the past. It's not until you understand your emotions to that experience that you've gained with that knowledge, then that's when you find wisdom, because you can then look at your whole story. You then see the game plan of the soul, and it is shown to you in a completely different way. That is wisdom, when you can take a scenario, situation, hence depression, and you have a completely different meaning to it. That's wisdom, and you're all capable of doing that. Right, what we got? True life stories. Is there any way I could have a talk with you on my channel? I have learned a lot from just watching your videos, and it helped me on my journey on plant medicines, in understanding myself and my life. Is there any way I could have a talk with you on my channel? Yeah, I'm sure that could be possible. Double E, if you'd like to put out my email for me, and let's see what you've got, and let's see what we can do. And yeah, I've done a few podcasts, if you like. Yeah, I won't say no to that. Let's see what we've got. Let's see what we can do. Right, Ernest. They apologise quickly, yet act quickly on emotion. Yeah, don't you just get sick and tired of apologies, and you think, I've heard it all the time. This is the one, oh, I didn't mean to say that. Yeah, you did, because you said it. No, but I didn't mean to say that. And I've said it before. I didn't mean to say that. But then I realised that that was like the soul jumping out, or it's like the demon jumping out. It's like, oh yeah, you truly meant to say that. That is the biggest excuse on the planet. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Oh, yes, you did. Right, true life stories. Hi, you can have Trevor email. Thank you very much, Double E. Chloe, the gift of depression is pointing out something's wrong. True. So now it's time to ask yourself, do you want to keep feeling depressed, or do you want to feel different? Two ways. Well, there's many ways, but I'll give you a simple little answer that I discovered is, am I depressed because of me? Or am I depressed because of what life is all about? Just think about that for the moment. Because I realise, being in England, I find England very depressive. All of it. All of it, no matter where I've been. England is very depressive. A lot to do with the weather, I'm afraid, because we don't get a lot of sun nowadays. And of course, that's a lack of vitamin D. That's going to send you into a slight depression. Call it SAD, which is the sad syndrome of not receiving the sun rays. Can't begin to fathom out why they want to block the sun out, but there's another plan towards that one. So the gift of depression is something is wrong. So you have to ask yourself, okay, something is wrong. What is wrong? Most people that do go through depression, if you ask them what's wrong, it's really hard to answer, because it is so jumbled up. Everything is jumbled up because you don't know who to blame. You don't know when it started. And there's a lot of people that will turn around and say, especially, I say especially, as everyone's getting depressed. But when you look at actors that you think they've got everything, it's amazing how depressed they are. I mean, Stephen Fry is a very knowledgeable man. He's a big old celebrity. He must have enough money to sort of keep him out of poverty, that's for sure. But he's kind of got this manic depressiveness about himself that he cannot shake. And so therefore, what I discovered in the soul, and when I discovered what depression is, for me what it represented is when the soul went, you know what, I am done with that human shit. I cannot pretend to be a human anymore. I cannot pretend and keep doing this shit and keep wasting my life. And that's where my soul took me. My soul basically went, I've had enough of this. I can't do it anymore. It's a waste of life. So depression became an energy. It became a feeling. And you know, I had this strong essence that this inner soul of mine just crossed its arms, crossed its legs and slumped. And it's as almost if it felt like a bowling ball within me. It went boom, you know. I felt heavy. I felt like I was struggling through life. I just couldn't function. I was, oh man, what's going wrong? Am I going mental? Am I going mad? It's like, oh God, I did a lot of crying. A lot of shit went on. And I kind of had this imagery that was what it was. My soul went, oh, I can't do this anymore. But the interesting thing is that when I left England, well, that's funny, I'm not depressed anymore. Well, that doesn't make sense then. Well, but you're depressed. So if you're manically or mentally or emotionally, physically depressed, then what happened then when I left the country and found myself somewhere else that went, well, I don't feel any of that now. So how can it be medical? If by change getting on a plane, 2 hours, you go somewhere else, hold up a minute, I'm not depressed. What's going on? And then you spend X amount of weeks there, in my case, a couple of years, because I never do weeks. Everything's all right. You think, great, wonderful, life's beautiful, it's brilliant, feel great. And then you come back, and then, hold up a minute, I feel depressed again. So what is it? Is it where you live? Is it actually you that's depressed? Or is it your environment that's making you depressed? We always blame ourselves for whatever depression we're going through. I've listened to a lot of people's stories, and there's a real good reason why they're depressed. There's massive reasons of why people would be depressed. Depression means when you've had enough of the material story. You've had enough of relationships. You've had enough of the way that you think. You've had enough in the way that you feel. You've just had enough. And then in that depression, you fight for a little while and you think to yourself, I've got to get out of this. I've got to shake up. And even your friends may say to you, come on, we're going to take you out. It doesn't work. And you definitely don't want anyone telling you to shake it up, change your attitude. What's the matter with you? You know, find someone else, get another relationship, change something. No, that doesn't work like that. Depression for me is when the human programming of me just died. Hence the dark night of the soul. Because in that dark night of the soul, that's the dark night. It puts you in that dark night. It makes you not see the light of who you are, but it makes you see the pains that you are carrying, and that's depressive. Just a little bit of the story, but ask yourself, do you want to keep feeling depressed? Nobody wants to feel depressed. So what was the opposite word to feeling depressed? What was it? Was it naturalness? Was it normal? So for me, I'd learned well, if I'm depressed, what's missing? And I thought, expression. Expression, depression. Expression, depression. When I wasn't expressing myself, I'm depressed. And when I was depressed, I was trying to express myself. It's like my mate turned around and said to me, try and be funny when you're depressed, considering you just spent the 30 years of your life being funny. Try and tell a joke to somebody and try and make yourself funny, or try and make people laugh when you're depressed. It cannot be done. I tried. It cannot be done. Unless you tried, then that's great. Okay. Love the questions, by the way. Thanks for giving me permission in one of your recent videos to use my experience to help others. You are one of my go-to resources and have really helped me put in a name to this experience. Thanks, Daniel. That's so correct. It's putting a name to something that has meaning. I didn't want to go through depression and think, well, it's just depression. It stops, doesn't it? That's where it stops. What's the matter with you? Oh, I'm just depressed. Why don't you go and get a job? I can't, I'm too depressed. Go to the doctors then. I know, he told me I'm depressed. What did they give you? Antidepressants. Okay, let's look at the side effects. Suicidal thoughts. Okay, right. Okay, well, what do I do with that then? Suicidal. Right, okay, it's going to make me feel like this, going to make me feel like that. Don't make sense to me. Doesn't turn around and say, you will take these for 7 days and you will feel the best you've ever felt. You will love yourself and you will love the world. Didn't say that. Anyway, yeah, okay, Daniel, thank you very much. I love that. Listen to the words. Thank you for giving me permission. Think about that. Thank you for giving me permission. When I was on the TV, quite a few people said that. They said to me, oh God, where have I gone? They said to me, hold on, I've lost my thing. Right, I'm back. They said to me, thank you for being you, Trevor, because you've now given me permission to be me. Isn't that right? I've just gone off a little bit blanky there, so don't worry about that. I moved the mouse. So yeah, thank you. That is, see, it's the power of words again. You are one of my go-to resources and have really helped me putting a name to this experience. If somebody can name something, I think that makes sense. It's like there's a noise in your car. You don't know what the noise is. So you take it to the mechanic and the mechanic says, it's the starter motor. And you go, oh, great, thank you very much. Can you fix it? Yeah, we can fix it. All right, it's going to cost you. All right, so you get the starter motor fixed. Perfect. It makes sense. Thank you so much for fixing my car. We don't seem to see enough of people out there getting fixed. But I don't think that's the medical pharmaceutical company that is employed to kind of fix you. Because as I always say, and we now hear people say, there's no cure, there's no money in a fix. There's only money in the unfixed. So the more we can be unfixed and injured, carry on, knock yourself out, because we're earning a shitload of money. So this is why healing became very important. And we're all capable, because I'm a nobody. I'm just like everybody else. I'm going to have to use the word human, but I'm not. But I'm just that human being that's gone through the shit just like everybody else, right? But I discovered something far more greater than that. And I believe it's all in you. It is in all of you. It really is. Right, okay, stop looking at the little screen, Trev. You've got a lovely big screen up there. Live your life, whatever that means. You live your life to your capability or what's at hand, living life. You have no choice to live your life. It's how you live it within yourself. It's determined by your life. Hypnicity, he's my second. My first only lasted 3 years. My starter husband wasn't so great. But 9 times out of 10, the first ones isn't. I think I married my first love, my marriage, I met, I believe I was 15, she was 14. And I think that lasted for 17 years. And I'm still great friends with her. In actual fact, what's the date today? What's the date? Oh, I think she got married again yesterday. So I rang her up last week and congratulated her and all the rest of it about getting married. So that was interesting. That was really funny. That was like, wow, you're getting married again. Just seems so weird. But I wished her all the best. I've met her fella. Lovely guy, by the way. And no hard feelings between anything or any of us. I never ever thought I'd get to that point. I thought I would kind of always hate her because of the way that it went. Because I had to leave the children, get out of the house and all the rest of it. And I hated her for that. But all is good. And now I sort of have a lot of gratitude because of the way that it went. Because in some respects it allowed me some freedom for me to go and do the things that I couldn't do whilst I was married. And I thank her for that, no matter how it went. So that's a different way of looking at it. Ernest, interrogation overload is terrible, isn't it? I think any woman or any man for that matter, they've got a way of interrogation. Do you know where a lot of it comes from though? As they don't trust themselves. If somebody keeps accusing you of an affair, 9 times out of 10, all right, let's not get this. All right, it's not 9 times out of 10. I'm just sort of saying, but I discovered when somebody's accusing you of having an affair, it's them that's having the affair. And because they're having the affair and they're thinking that they can get away with it, they think that you're also getting away with it. So their own insecurities get the better of them in the end. And then people that have affairs will never trust a relationship because they don't trust themselves. That's the difference. Yes, trust is gone, Ernest. True life stories, thank you. Chloe, I wanted to feel different for years. Did you manage it? Did you manage to feel different? Because what we're looking for, isn't it? We always want to feel different in something. Where we want to feel different in a job. We want to feel different in a relationship. We wanted spirituality. Let's go with spirituality. Spirituality is supposed to be there because it's there to make you feel different to how you feel. So I would have thought that being in the human story, you sort of say, well, I feel crap, right? So maybe spirituality is the way forward. So I'll get into some form of spirituality and let's see if that makes me feel different. And that's what it's all based upon. Excuse me. So, yes, we're always looking to feel different. But did you feel different for a short term or did you feel different for a long term? Because from my human self, there's many things that make you feel different, all right? But I never kind of really used to like that up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down sort of, oh, that makes me feel good, that don't, that's right, that's not. It's like, oh, bloody hell. It's like a bipolar that just keeps going on all over the place. So we're always looking to feel different. But if our thoughts are all the same, your thoughts will determine your energy. Your energy will then determine the health of who you are because they determine the chemical reaction within your body. So does that make you feel different? So doing positive affirmations, does that make you feel different? Did somebody make you feel different for a while and then all of a sudden you felt different, but then you didn't feel different? From human to the beanie, there is something there that is completely different. It's the opposite. The beamy, depression, is the opposite. Human, beamy, it's the opposite. Beamy doesn't do little change. Beamy done full transformation. It's all the way. That's what the true meaning of the dark night of the soul is. You discover the soul and you start to understand the soul, not the human, because you can't understand the human. But the soul has 100% connection to all the human things you've done and did and has experienced. Your human self gets completely wrapped up in it, gets completely confused in it, because why? Because you're acting like a human and a human has taught you how to act. The soul isn't like that. But the soul wanted the experiences because it needed you to have the experiences. And all the healers that become healers have gone through incredible amounts of experiences. And then they get it. Ellie Wynn, Ernest, many act on emotion. Yeah, people do. Because they turn around and say, life's emotional. We're humans. We're emotional. No, that's programming. Ellie Wynn, I believe respect is core. Love is complicated. Without respect, there is failure to solve challenges person to person. Yeah, respect is core. Okay. Respect is a big one, isn't it? I know people that are bank robbers, dealers, murderers. Do you know what? They've got a lot of respect. So it's a fine word to define what respect is, because let's have a look at the Cray twins. Most of the East End respected the Cray twins. So we can respect, but I think the core of it all is, especially in the Beamy, is respecting oneself. Don't expect anyone to respect you, because will they? But when we start to respect ourselves, that's when we start delivering and understanding our own truths. Because I believe in myself and I respect myself. And one of my mates said it to me. He said, I respect myself to be happy. I don't rely on anyone else to make me happy. I have the respect in me to be happy. So respect is definitely, if you have respect within yourself, you can show people some respect. But a lot of people can take the piss out of that. Once they know that you respect them, they can sort of play you all over the place. I know people that do that as a living. Right, Ernest, then apologies after the damage is done. Doesn't work. But I know what you're saying, Ernest. It's the apologies will only build up for the next one, I'm afraid. So I was never very good at apologising. I never actually learnt to apologise. I had a real problem with saying sorry at certain points in my life, you know. I just couldn't say it. But I learned, and I can be very apologetic. I was actually apologising to someone today because I had a little bit of a moment, interesting moment. It's like someone was trying to fluff me over with something, and I thought, oh, you've just crossed the line now. And then I sort of went into a bit of a true speaking moment. That's called a manager over, because they knew what was going on. But I did apologise at the end of it, sort of thing. It was just taking the piss out of me, really. I don't like that. So I can go so far, but over the edge a bit there, you can't do that. You can't do that to a spiritual person, because a spiritual person works on both sides of the story, both sides of the sword, and it works both ways. True Life Story says, Chloe, oh, this is at Chloe. Right, okay. Right, Virgin. I see so many couples together and bitter, and that's so sad. I always listen to my gut. Sometimes that takes only 5 minutes. Yeah, it's true. If dating, I think 3 months is a good amount of time to know and see. Yes, a lot of my mates will say that. When I've had long relationships, and my mates, you know, I had a great relationship for one of them between 5 and 7 years, and it was a great relationship. So my mate didn't understand how it lasted and why it was so good, and they basically used that 3-month title. They went, I can only last 3 months, and that's it for me, you know. So I'm glad I didn't have 3 months relationships. No, it never worked for me. Didn't have short term, always had quite long term relationships. Daniel Hicks, midlife crisis and dark night synonymous. Very much connected, I do believe. But the difference being is, one is that you're connecting to your higher self. In your midlife crisis, the story is you run off with a younger girlfriend, or you run off with a younger man. It seems to be the thing. A lot of actors are doing it at the moment, aren't they? You know, Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, what's his girlfriend, 24 or something, you know. I know they're famous and all that, but take away that fame, they're still an old man. Good luck on them. Great, if it works for them, fantastic. You know, but there is a lot to do with that, with the midlife crisis as well. I mean, I looked at it and sort of thought, well, maybe I'm having a midlife crisis, but no, midlife crisis would have just made me just go back and do different material things. But in the dark night of the soul, no, it was a completely different thing. The dark night of the soul actually kept me away from relationships. It kept me away from the material world because the inner self of the soul had something to say. So totally two different things that can seem very similar, but one takes you back into the journey, one takes you out of the journey. So one takes you into the forest, one takes you out of the forest. Right, okay, the Virgin, my gut tells me we are very similar. Okay, that's you two. Gas bagging. Stop gas bagging, people. Right, okay, I'm joking, by the way. Ellie Wynn, usually I know within 20... Right, I've done that one. Yeah, oh no. Usually I know within 20 minutes or less. We will not date the latest offer. Been single a long time. Yeah, gets a little bit false, doesn't it? I don't think I can ever go back to handbags and nail polish, if you know what I mean with women. Because I come from Essex, it's all handbags and nail polish. Or false nails, shall we say. Listen, I've been a makeup artist for long enough. I know what's underneath that makeup. It's such a shame, I feel. I love the naturalness of a woman, but she doesn't have to go out that way to put all that stuff on just to impress me. I love naturalness. I never in my day, because I was a makeup artist, you know, and being a makeup artist, you can become very critical, and I probably was. And you know, if I was speaking to a woman, they say, "What do you do for a living?" I say, "I'm a makeup artist." I go, "Don't look at my lipstick. Don't, oh, are my eyeshadows all right? Is my eyeliner okay? Oh my God, you must think I'm awful." You know, so they would always do that. So I never told them I was a makeup artist. And if I told them I was a makeup artist or a hairdresser, the first thing they would turn around and say is, "Oh, can you do my hair? Can you do my makeup?" and all of this. And I kind of got a little bit fed up of it when I was going out. So when people ask me, what do you do when I was out, a good conversational stopper was I just used to tell them I'm a gynecologist. Do you need any help? Never worked. But that's what I used to say just for the crack of it. Daniel Hicks, no textbooks can teach dark night or leaving toxic relations. No, they cannot. No, they cannot. My book will. But not about leaving toxic relationships, though, because toxic relationship, believe it or not, I still haven't got to the talk of spiritual relationships, but all toxic relationships, they're all to do with healing, and they are fantastic. Let me just get through some of these. Daniel, I'm 64, I'm coming through to enlightenment. Well done, you. As long as you get there at some point, it doesn't matter. Very good hip. Hip or tip? Ernest, sympathy, blah, blah, blah. Daniel hits, can't ever go back, feels good, strangely. Yep, that's true. Virgin, didn't mean to say right, okay. Ernest, you're talking to yourselves. So, Epiphany, depressed because of what life is all about. I wanted unicorns and rainbows, but got the UK. I understand what you're saying. I understand. Check up on Instagram. I don't know if anyone has seen it. The woman that does the healing out in the fields and the horses come over. So she's doing Reiki healing, and the horses come over and they just Instagram healing and horses, and you see this amazing woman with these horses, and the horses are picking up on the energy and they're yawning. They've got their heads rested on the patient's or the client's body. Fantastic. Always, they remind me of unicorns, whatever a unicorn is, but you got to check it out because it is just incredible what's going on when it comes down to healing. I'm not sure if it's the horses are actually doing some of the healing or the horses are picking up on the healing, but you'll never see a horse so quiet and start to yawn, and his head is so heavy where he wants, he's losing it. He's going with the energy of it all. So fantastic. So look that up, people. Ellie Wynn, I sense some depression as a type of giving up on being alive, and it's all in flavours and colours. It is like that. You do give up. Your body's had enough. Your energy drops. So depression is a drop of energy. Depressed, like a cold spring, it's depressed. So what do we want? We want we want that coil. Even when you're depressed, your DNA depresses. Depresses. Scientifically proven. Your DNA actually depresses as well. And then that's why meditation and calmness and all of this, it releases the coil of the DNA, and it helps your immunity and the rest of your body function better. Depression is like driving your car in first gear with the handbrake on, and nobody's told you that the handbrake's on. Spirituality, beamiality, beamism, beamy is, the handbrake's on. Take the handbrake off. Got the handbrake on, you're going to wear out the brakes, the engine's going to boil over, you're going to ruin the engine becomes knackered. It's the same as the body. One thing in the body will affect the other, will affect the other, will affect the other. Something in your car will affect the other, will affect the other, will affect the other. It's the way that it works. Come to Canada, Trev, in this, summer, not winter. Listen, I don't know how you Canadians do it. What is wrong with you people? Minus 30 degrees? Are you crazy? I know people in Canada, lovely people. I find that the loveliest people, but that weather, my God, how do your car start? How do you go and get milk? How do you go down to the local corner shop without freezing to death? I don't know how you do it. I should be saying, no, you come here. But mind you, the summer, Canada, lovely, lovely, lovely place. Lovely, lovely, lovely people. Ryan Reynolds, lovely, lovely person. I'm not saying just because he's an actor and he's from Canada, but get some serious vitamin D. Do you know the biggest country that suffers from vitamin D is Saudi Arabia, Dubai? You know why? Because they don't go out in the sun. It's too bloody hot. Right, okay, ethnicity. Right, okay, let's get down. Right, questions I want. It can be down to depression and expression by being an arsehole, and it's my mouth that gets me in trouble. Yeah. I tried to cover it up with a joke. Most men do. We all do that. You're being very honest, Ernest, I must admit. Very honest. That's exactly what we do. Sometimes what we think is a joke can be very detrimental to somebody. Most men will get into trouble by being jovial, by joking about something. But there is a point where you can joke with a woman. Listen, either way, just equal, right? 50-50, right? There's a moment when you can get away and joke with people, and then there's a moment when the joke doesn't. It's changed now. We can't take the piss out of each other now. It's changed, you know. So yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? My last pill was the red pill. Yes, never taken any pills. Trevor, you appreciate the experience of your ex-wife then and now? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yep, absolutely. Every time I meet her, I go, hello, my beautiful wife that had an affair. You know, we laugh about it. I laugh about it. And even my kids' friends used to say, is that your mum and dad? I go, yeah. What? They were married and everything like that and all that. And went, how comes they get on so well? You know, but that's the way that it is. We actually really, really, really do. I actually get on well with all my girlfriends. Yeah. And why not? They've been in your life. They make up your journey. Without them, you had no journey. Ellie Wynn, Trevor, very interesting response to respect. You opened a new way for me to see a different understanding of it all. Yes, respect oneself. There's a song out there, RSPC. Is that respect? Isn't it? RESPECT. Yeah, respect. Right, Virgin, Ernest, 10-year difference here, Daniel Hicks. That makes sense. The soul, spiritual soul. Right, we're going to get on to... I thought you were going to say a dentist, Trevor. No, not a dentist, no. Daniel Hitch, just say an accountant. No one ever follows up with, oh, right, with when I said, yeah, gynecologist. Do you know, out of all my hairdressing career, no one's ever owned up to being a dentist. Not one. Or a doctor. Not one. I think it's the same as the hairdressing thing, really. The animals, horses are amazing. Yeah, double E. Yeah, look it up. It's fantastic. You'll love it. I can't stop watching it. It's purely hypnotic. Dawil de Vries, sorry. From childhood I struggled with language and meaning. While it aids expression, it can also divide through labelling and judgment. I wonder, could a different relationship to this transform things? I think language is just a bunch of words that's put together to form a sentence, to form a chapter that forms a life. I think the true meaning of any expression of anything, I think your body is a language. Not I think, I know the body is a language. Your energy is a language. Everyone reads that energy. I've been in foreign countries where, of course, we don't speak the same language, but we understand each other, and we hear many people say it. It's the energy that we're giving off that we seem to understand each other, even though we don't understand the language, because language is just made up. It's human. It's just made up by humans. But universal language, there is no language to that other than like a feeling, vibration and energy. That's how everything works. And that's why Be Me becomes so short in just the 3 letters. It became a language. And the soul, as I've said before, a sign of universal language, is what the soul is all about. The soul gets you to feel a certain way. You try to understand what that feeling is. You try to understand it in your human language, and it doesn't make sense. So you have to go to the feeling of the soul, then it begins to make sense. So you're always working with that intuition, and your intuition is a language on its own. So it's like me saying, are you really depressed? If I take the word depression out of the way, what are you now? So yeah, language is very confusing, and it's very strange, and it's very much needed. But a line in a map, and there ain't a line there, but a line in a map from this country to that country, can speak French, can speak Spanish. It just always amazed me. Always amazed me. And as for the Russian alphabet, I mean, what did they do with that? Did they just throw the alphabet up in the air and just throw it all around and just make it go backwards or something? I just find it fascinating. And you've got children that have got, you look at Arabic writing, or you look at Chinese writing and Japanese writing. I mean, Jesus Christ, this writing, it's a bleeding picture. One stroke of a brush and it's the wrong word, isn't it? So language is really difficult. No, Be Me became a language. Right, I'm getting to the end of this now. I saw a short vid of a woman crying, and a horse came over to her and put his head on her shoulder. Yeah, I know. Animals are more loving than I think we give respect for. We've got the obvious, the bird, the cat, the dog, the horse. But when you see these lions and pumas and tigers and monkeys and, oh my God, when you see such a ferocious animal become such friends, or it can be a reindeer, or it can be there's YouTubes out there where a reindeer or stag, even worse than a reindeer, a stag is butting the cars because it wants you to follow it, because its baby has got caught in the river and it's kind of drowned in, and it's amazing how they communicate. But it's then amazing that I've discovered on YouTube, not YouTubes and Instagrams and things like that, when you help something out, an animal out, they bring the friends, they bring the rest of the family, so there's a trust. There's a trust in there. I think animals are scared of humans because they know they can't trust humans. They know what humans are, because let's face it, humans are savages in my eyes. They will kill anything, really and honestly, and they do. They reckon we've only got a couple of rhinos left on the planet now before they all disappear. Right, Ollie Ann. Fortunate is the bee me who is lucky enough to capture the butterfly that is Trevor Isley's heart. Thank you very much, Ollie. And it is that cocoon, caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly. I think that is the true transformation, and that's also ancient Egyptian as well. And it's connected to Buddhism as well, because that's what they truly believe. But the ancient Egyptians, way, way back, believed that the transformation of the caterpillar, that was the basic formality of their actual spiritual transformation. So in that darkness is that they was learning about that darkness before they went into the underworld. Because don't forget, humans, it seems, have always believed that they've come from somewhere else. I believe that. They've come from, right back in the days, before they even could talk. They believed they come from somewhere, and that they believed that there was a spiritual somewhere where they was going to. It's always been known. I think the English kind of lost out on that. I don't think England's got any sort of form of real kind of spirituality, really, of anything. We just nicked it from other countries, really. Right, okay. Ernest, Canada as the MAID program, and that is eugenics. Okay. Dubai has good cannabis. Okay, right. The Virgin takes about 3 months to know if the other is a possibility. Okay. When you get really psychic, the first 3 minutes will be your answer. For me, it's like that. Even if somebody wants to chat up and know, I just think, oh God, don't go with the ego, Trev. You're going to get suckered here, mate. It's trouble. Walk on by, it's trouble. And that's how I used to look at it. No, you're trouble. I don't care what you look like. I know you look like Marilyn Monroe. You're trouble. What is love? Does anyone know? True. Does anyone know? Does anyone know? But what I do know is naturalness. And I think that completely outweighs love. It's not about finding love. It's about finding naturalness. Right. Thank you. So interesting. Ernest, love spelt backwards is evolve. It is. Right. Okay. We're getting to the end of these now. I've had to earn the trust of my animals. I've had to earn the trust of my animals. Yes. That's so true. Ernest, he is my guide dog. You got a guide. Oh, right. In what sense are you saying that you got a guide dog? Is your guide dog, or are you blind because you got a guide dog? Dogs are good guides. Do you know, I think I'm right on this, but no one knows where the word dog originated from. Check it up. They can't say that it started off in a certain country or something. And do you know the word animal? Do you know in Latin it means soul? Right, Ernest, Book of Enoch. Don't get me started on the Book of Enoch. Right, okay, now we've done all the questions, right? Okay, is relationships, right, 20 minutes left. Is relationships spiritual? All the way. Because what you're doing, each relationship is like this. In the beginnings, relationships are relationships. You just meet. It just happens. Or if you're very clever, you can go and pull someone down at the pub, as we call it. But relationships are very, very, very important, because I realised that in the beginning, relationships are relationships. Then you get to the point where you say, hold up a minute, something here is going on. What is going on? So then relationship turns into relationship, and then you start to understand that a relationship is about healing. So then you start to understand what your healing journey is all about, because you've been wounded for a start, right? So you're going to either have somebody that's going to come into you that's going to help you to heal, or you may be healing anyway, and then you're going to get somebody that's going to come in and test you or try to destroy your healing. How many of you have noticed that? So some of you on your healing pathway, you don't want anyone coming in and kind of messing it up. And then from that, then from the healing relationship, then goes on and it gets into the soulful relationship, where you start to look at it and go, no, hold up here a minute. There's something completely going on here. And in the soulful relationships, wow, that's a whole bag of tricks, that one is, because the people you know, your ancestors have known. I have physical proof of that, documented proof, right? That the women I have known, like for instance, one woman that I know, 600 years ago, I found the boat passenger list, I found the name of the boat, and then my family and her family, 600 years ago, sailed across to America and created New Hampshire. I've got all the documentation and the facts of it all. It's just incredible. And it goes on even beyond that. So I've noticed that in the relationships, that you're not connecting to people just by chance. They've been in the family. They've been in the family, throughout the family. And it's nothing to do with past lives, because I've gone beyond that version of past lives. I've got actual facts and documented birth and death and marriage certificates. And even my best friend, who's been my best friend right through the journey of it, my mate Terry, I looked at him and I said, well, you must be a soulmate, mate, because it's the only way I see things. I don't see it as mates, I don't see it as friends anymore. There's got to be a soul connection. I don't know what that soul connection is, but I said I'll have a look. Or something will come to light, and it will come to light. Once you get into the soul journey, you go beyond these relationships, that's when it starts going into the spiritual, soulful journey. And so therefore, I looked up on the births and deaths of my family and this girlfriend's family of mine, and it works out that his family name was married to the girl I knew sister. No, not the girl I knew sister, the family. So he was also married into the family 500-600 years ago. So I think I found that one date was, we was married in the 400 years ago, and then we was married in the 600 years ago. And when I looked down, because you can buy books of your families, can't you? You get all the information of births and deaths and marriages. And there was his name right there, married to the sister of apparently the woman I was married to. So we've been travelling this journey for a long time, or the soul of souls has been travelling this journey for a long time. I kid you not. When you get through this human shit, when you get through this relationship problem, when you start to then understand what the soul is, and then what happens is this: the next part of the relationships that you meet are messengers, right? What does that mean? It means that when you become acute and you become totally aware, whatever it is that you've put out to the universe that you need an answer to, be sure it's coming out of the lips of the person that you've just met. So it's not about whether it's about love. Everyone is connected into your soulful journey. That's love. When you understand that the person that you're with, for good or for bad, because they're the only person in your life, right? For good or for bad, they have been divinely led, they have been soulfully led, and they've been put on your pathway to understand and appreciate why they are on your pathway. Now, as I said, for good or for bad. How do we learn about healing? How do we learn about who we are? How do we learn about the spiritual journey and the reasons behind relationships? It's so that you can get to understand how broken you are through not understanding the human programming. Once you understand how broken you are, each person has come into you to let you know how broken you actually are. And so therefore, when you get to a stage in the relationships and you can find your energy start to change, you start to turn into being an arsehole, that person has been sent to you to test you to see whether or not you are still an arsehole. And if you're still an arsehole, then you've not worked on yourself and you have never and not have evolved. I've been all of that. We've all been all of that, right? Now, I'm not wiser because I'm older. My mum's 92. There's not a wisdom bone in her body. She doesn't even know what her life's been about. She has no clue. She has no idea. I don't know any old person that has actually become wise and can give me any wisdom of what life is about or what they're even about. Not one stitch of it. Never. Nothing. The only wisdom you'll probably get if your dad was a businessman and then later in life and now he's a granddad, he can advise you on some business acumen. He can advise you on how to buy a house. He can advise you on certain things, and that comes with, you can get wisdom from that. So you can have, there's 3 types of wisdom. I'm not going to be able to think of them. You can have a human wisdom, which means you know the mechanics of life, so you can be very wise about the mechanics of life. But did you also know there is a demonic wisdom? I didn't know this, right? But I know it now. But I didn't know it. So there's 3 forms of wisdom: human, demonic, and then divinity. So in the demonic wisdom, what does that mean in the demonic world? It means the dark night of the soul. Did you discover wisdom in the demonic realm and the demonic energy that you went through and the darkness that you went through? So that's what I teach. I teach the wisdom of the demonic world in the dark night of the soul. I have the wisdom of that because I'm not in that. I have the experience of it. I have the knowledge of it, but I also got a lot of wisdom about what it means. So there's that. Then you've got the divine wisdom. Now, trust me on this one. Divinity has been stolen. You know, it's been said that, you know, there's only so many spiritual people that have connected into the divine. The divine means to transcend away from your human self. That is divinity. So if you take somebody like Buddha, he was a prince apparently, right? Then he put himself on the pauper list. And then he knew the 2 differences between being rich and being poor. And so therefore what he did, he transcended in the middle pathway between the 2. So divinity is being able to transcend and above what you believe the human life is all about, even what you believe the spirituality of life is all about. You are transcending your own limitations and your perception. That's why it's called Rise Up, Be Me. Revolutionary, inner soul, evolution, ultimate perception, body, mind, energy. So the ultimate, you're rising up. And if you go back to ancient Egypt, and I truly mean ancient Egypt, beyond the 6,000 years, right? You go into ancient, they was practicing what they called Christ energy, K-R-S-T, Christ energy. And that was a transformation of the human into the cocoon, into the caterpillar. They called it the Christ, and it meant the rising spirit, to rise up one's spirit above the human programming and conditioning that you've believed that life is human. It's not. It is if you want it to be, but it's not. It's soulful, and it's beyond spiritual. It's be me, I love, because it doesn't say spiritual. It's spiritual, but I don't say really it's spiritual because spirituality is being claimed. But be me offers you the opportunity to be you, not by following Buddhism, not by following any cult, not by following any sort of spiritual things. You're trying to religiously believe in oneself and transcending above your own pain, transcending above your own emotions, transcending and transforming your own mind of words. That's the language that we've been using to keep ourselves in the dark. Because sometimes we keep ourselves in the dark. It can seem very humbling in a sense, but you're not here to be that humble. You're here to express oneself. And only in that expression of oneself will you discover the perception, the ability, the achievement, the success of healing oneself, believing in oneself, trusting in oneself, and getting back to the word relationship. You are the relationship that you've been looking for. Your body, your mind, and your experience, your energy is your personal relationship. That is the ultimate relationship I've discovered. If you can discover something more than that, then what you'll find is if you ask enough people, as I have asked over the years, do you like who you are? A lot of people are going to say no. If you ask people, do you love who you are? Definitely a lot of people are going to say no. But once you reduce the fears, once you've understood your emotions, once you've noticed the importance of why a certain person has come into your life, because they're here to either be healed or you're to be healed, they're here to advance on your journey, or there's a demonic side of them that wants to stop you from reaching the light of who you are. And that's a lot of the focus of that I discovered. Don't forget, I cut your hair. I sold you shampoo and conditioner. I made you look good for your wedding. No, I made you look fucking fantastic for your wedding. I made your day. That was it. That's all I believed in. That's all I did. And that was an incredible job. I didn't took this stuff. But it's all in you. The knowledge is in you. The wisdom is in you. Your entire ancestral lineage is within you. So it's not about connecting in to God. It's not about connecting into Archangel Michael. You're connecting into the essence of your soul, the soul of souls. And the power and the gift of just 3 letters is so important, because you are important. You are divine. You have an essence. You are the spark. You are the energy. You are the life. You are it. This is it. Life doesn't exist. It only exists because you exist. And that is the meaning of life, to be me, as it is to be you. That is the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to be me. Say it to yourself. The meaning of life is for me to be me. Say it. That's your meaning of life. And once you understand that your body and your mind and your energy and your experience and all the people and all the experiences that you go through is very important, because it's now documented in your soul. It is now documented in your DNA. It's all in there. You've been writing that library book for a long time. Right, a brain scan should be required before administration. I think politicians need a brain scan. I truly do. I suppose at some point they'd be on our phones, wouldn't they? You download an app, get a brain scan. I think we all need bleeding brain scans, that's for sure. Yeah, especially politicians. They should all be on lie detectors as well. Right, Ellie Wynn, following the spirit, awareness of signals, knowing without knowing how or why, attunement to the field your presence is in. That's so true. You're in the field. You're in the field of energy, and it's the energy of the field that speaks. Once you connect into that, my God, that's when you connect into Mother Earth. It's when the whole thing connects. It's beautiful. Right, okay, let's see. Right, I thought you were going to say, right, okay, well, I've been, right, where are we? Ernest says the Reiki healer. I'm a Reiki master twice, Seikhem and Reiki. Now I've got Bimi, Mbeki healing, got my own. Right, Dina Cells, it's not that bad, Trev. Well, I don't know what that meant. Oh, is that Canada? Oh, Dino, you're in Canada. Oh, okay. Excellent. I know people in Red Deer. I think I've said that right, Red Deer. Yeah, Aretha Franklin, respect. What is love? Does anyone know? Only you know. Thank you, so interesting. Love spelled backward. Right, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. Here's my guide dog. Anunnaki, yeah. Anunnaki. Yes, Anunnaki. My family come out of ancient Egypt. And I ain't got normal blood. And you do know what the Anunnaki did, didn't you? Yeah, that's why you're talking about the Book of Enoch as well. I have glaucoma, Trevor. Okay, that's to do with the eyes, isn't it? Yeah, glaucoma. Okay. Right, that's normally hereditary, I think. Dog is God. That's backwards, yes. I'm 16.5 in both eyes. I'm not sure what that means. Right, Christmas, January. It's 25 in... What's that? 25 in Command City. Right, okay, I'm getting to the 6 degrees of separation. Yeah, that's a story, isn't it? And I think it only takes 1 degree from water into ice, something like that. So that's how quick an ice age can come. Ethnicity, I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. The meaning of life is to be me, 100%. Ellie Wynn, they need a soul scan too. You can do your own soul scan. You can connect into the soul. It's, you know, my soul is Mbaki. It's beamism. It's beamy. It's got incredible healing abilities. It's got the whole thing. That's the soul. Trevor Isley, as I said, will just cut your hair. Eric, hey Trevor, nice to see you again, mate. We have had email contact very often, about 8 years ago. I know. How you doing, Eric? Pilalago, Lego, thank you for your videos. Dina Salis, Enoki, yes. Enoki, yes. That's why they kept it all out of the Bible, isn't it? I always believed, you know, when I go back, the Virgin, thanks so much, Trev, for your lives. You sure helped me over the years. Yeah, it's very interesting. You know, when I went through the spiritual transformation, I was getting so much about the Christianity. I was getting so much about the Jesus thing. I'm not religious. I didn't come from any spiritual background. I wasn't brought up with any spiritual background, you know. But in the soul of me, he had this really strong essence of a lot of things. And I believed at one point that I connected into what I would say is the Christ energy, which to me, which is the opposite energy to the energy I was walking around with. Because the energy I was walking around with just basically said, fuck off. But the opposite to that became that amazing feeling. So I thought in my story that I had a lot to say about Christianity, but I didn't know what and I didn't know why. But a lot of my writings was geared up about that. And I used to think, oh my God, have I got to take on Christianity and tell them that they've got something wrong, you know? But I didn't do that. And obviously, over the years, different stories have come about. People are starting getting out different information about what, you know, Christianity, where it evolved from and what it was all about. So all of this stuff started to happen. It's my eyes shaking. But what I did discover is that it was connected into my soul's journey. And because all my ancestors from the last 600 years were preachers, right? And from this area as well as. And one of them was King Henry VIII's preacher as well. We were scholars, we were scribes, we spoke many languages, and we rearranged the Bible as well as, got documented facts on that as well. So it was my ancestral soul's lineage that was in me, that was influencing me to sort of write about what I wrote about. And a lot of my early writings and my early books was all about the kingdom of God. It was all about the kingdom of heaven. And as I said before in many videos, I had no interest in any of that. But there was a massive influence about it. But then I realised that it was the soul of my soul was writing through me, because it wanted me to understand that language that they went through, and then they wanted me to develop my own language that kind of went beyond that. Because if you really want to go to the Jesus thing, you know, ultimately for me, Jesus was saying, if you can be me, then your life will change. You'll understand what I'm saying. So for me, it's like what's the sentence? To get into the kingdom of heaven, you have to go through me, or something like that, isn't it? To get to the kingdom of heaven, to get to the kingdom of heaven. You have to go through me. Is that right? Someone would quote me on that one. But I think what it was all about, I think it was to get to the kingdom of heaven, you have to be like me. And if you can be like me, you'll understand what the kingdom of heaven was all about. And I got a great message a couple of months back from my ancestors. And my ancestors, because I've been doing a lot with my book and trying to sort out the book and, you know, what's the main function of the book without, you know, too much editing and stuff. And basically they turned around and said to me, Trev, believe in your book as we believed in our book, which meant because they believed in that book 100%, then they lived and breathed and died by that book. But that's not to say that that was the truth. It's what they believed for them to be the truth for them at that particular time. You know, imagine 600 years. It was very steep and deep. But they said to me, you know, believe in your book as we believed in our book, because we believe in your book. So it's all about self-belief and what you believe about any of it. But I believe now the ultimate perception of any of us is to completely believe in oneself, believe in your story, believe in your life, because at the end of the day, that's all you've got, is to believe in yourself. And then when you turn into that world of spirit and you go into spirit, you know, hopefully that's what you'll turn around and say is a good life, because you really truly trusted oneself, had faith in oneself, believed in oneself, rather than any spirituality or any book or any scripture. You truly had an awareness about yourself and life. And I think that's be me. And I think that's in everybody. And if you can be me, you know, for me, I believe God said, be me. And that for me is it. I can't go beyond that, because I think in the essence of how we came here, and we already now know that when the sperm enters the egg, they've got it photographed now. I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram, that there is a flash of light. As soon as the sperm hits the egg, there's a flash of light, and what that does is that pushes away all the other sperms. It's incredible stuff, but we've now actually got that photograph. So we are the light, we have come from the light, we are full of light. And I think the human story has made us very heavy. And if at the end of the day, just to be light is to feel light, if you could feel light, enlightenment, or just feel light, rather than the heaviness of who we are, I think you've mastered self. And I think that's what it's all about. And I think that's what it truly means. Right, my people. I think Lady Babylon channel is taken on the Bible Bashers left, right, and in 30 years. Eric, thanks, mate. Been in my awakening 8 years now. You helped me a lot. Saw your first Dark Night of the Soul vids so many times, and I bet if you watch them again, they'll mean something else. I listen to them, and I listen to myself, not because of ego. I listen to myself and I think, oh wow, okay, yeah, because a lot of the times my soul was talking a lot of the times, and sometimes I need a refreshment to sort of see how I was speaking, and I used to love it because I was speaking the truth of what that journey was all about, and that's what I love about myself. It's true to me, and I think it's been true to a lot of people, because it's gave a lot of people a lot of meaning. Are you also feeling the Aquarius phase setting in tomorrow, Trev? Oh, I don't know. Is that the planet alignment? We're talking about the planet alignments there that's going on. I'm going to have to talk to Double E about that, if that's what you mean. Is that the Aquarius? Wait for the Aquarian connection. I'm not sure. Chris Milky, I thought I was alone in this theory. No, you're not alone. That's the problem. The separation has made everyone believe they're alone. Why do you think we're all separated? So that you can't get information. You know, Facebook and all of that, it was to help us to connect. But now look at it. It's nothing to do with connecting. It's called spying. It's called controlling. It's fucked up. The whole thing's fucked up. Sun moved into Aquarius this evening at 8 p.m. UK time. Okay, there you go. Straight away, she gave me an answer. Sun is in conjunction with Pluto on Tuesday. Thank you, Double E. Epiphany, Uranus, come off. Okay. Dina Sellers, as always. Eric, yes, Trev. Okay. Until the next time, I think we've had some interesting questions. Get ready for your next questions because, you know, your questions determines what I can talk about. I mean, I can talk till the cows come home. But it's better for people to sort of have a question or something that would like some insight. My insight might work for you. It might not work. You take from it what you take from it. You know, I'm not forcing anyone to believe in anything. I'm just talking my experience. I'm just talking what I went through. I'm talking what I discovered. I'm talking about the miracle that I can heal. And I believe everyone can do everything. I believe we have great potential. And I think if we stop being human and if we allow this AI to connect in to people, I think even the human in us or the humanism in us, even that last part is going to disappear. And that's before we get anywhere near the soul. I truly believe that the more we've transcended, the more that we have healed, the more we have become aware, the more that we've tried to connect, the more that we've become loving. I don't think the darkness like it. They don't, because they will lose control. And I think the game is on. But as long as you're true to yourself and you love oneself by being natural to oneself, body, mind and energy working as one, that is the one. You are the one. And it's about being the one. And whatever truth you believe in, if you believe in it wholeheartedly, then I believe in your truth as well as you believe in your truth. That's all we can say, isn't it? If that's what you believe, I believe it for you too. Okay, everybody. So I'd like to say thanks for everyone. Double E, thank you very, very much for being here, being very supportive. We've had a great chat. Probably again in a couple of days. I think it's best to leave it a couple of days, or I don't know, I might start doing them every day when I get the right equipment, and which is all coming. Everything's working a lot more smoother now, so I feel a lot more confident in doing them now. That you know, nothing else is going to break down. But you know, Ellie Wynn. Good question for next time. Thank you, Rustka. Chris Milky, peace be with everyone. Eric, on the 12th of January, Trev, there will be 6 planets in alignment. Thanks, Eric. And I feel the astrological energy is so much more since my waking. Yes, you will. Yes, absolutely. I even tune in and talk to Double E, and she just confirms a lot for me. You know, with what I'm going through, I'll feel a shift and I think, oh, here we go. Is it me? Have I got the arsehole today? You know, have I got the ump? Am I miserable? You know, but, you know, I tune into Double E and she says, no, this is coming in. It will affect you and that. It just gives me that ha-ha moment because there's a reason behind something. And if it fits for your body and whatever's being said, if it resonates with the body, you go, oh, I can take that. That makes sense to me. And the body responds. It says, okay, yeah, that makes sense because this body truly is in tune with not only nature, it's the heavens and the earths. And I think once you get in tune with that, I think that's when you start to play your tune. And that's the Be Me tune. And I think that's what all the ancients were always talking about. And that's why it seems like they were more spiritual, more creative, more aware, because they was in tune with the planet and the heavens and the way everything worked. Because if it wasn't for them, we're still far behind now. What they know, we've only just found out now what we know, and they knew it way back then. So where did we go wrong somewhere along the line? It's withholding misinformation, I believe. Okay, everybody. Marco 11.3. It's a small world after all. Totally. When you get on a soul's journey, you'll realise it's even smaller than you think. Because, God, do you know what? We don't know who's family. You don't really know who you're really with. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying, but it could, you just don't know who's with who, but you'll be shocked to find out that you might be, you know what, with someone that's family somewhere along the line. Eric, thanks, mate. Nice to see you. Talk to you again. Be you, be me. Absolutely. Be me, be you. All the way. Guys, I'll leave you with that, and I'll let you know a couple of hours when I'm up and ready to do the next one. But other than that, thank you for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed the show, and I'll speak to you and see. Well, I won't see you, but